Intro video next time.
We're live.
All right, we are live, folks, and welcome to another episode of Mid-States Live. We've got already 5 people in the room. This is so awesome.
Nice.
So, as you all know, we do have a Ken Dotsun from A&J Toys on tonight. I personally am looking forward to this. Very grateful to have Ken on tonight. He's working really hard, and he's been in this for a very long time. And, you know, I've got a good story about the first time I ever met him, so we'll share that tonight as well. That's not on the question list, by the way. So what do we got going on elsewise there, Mr. Brent?
Well, let's see. There's been a bunch of RLC sales lately. There's a show, I think, next weekend that sounds like a pretty good time. Let's see, what else is there? Christmas is right around the corner. I don't know what else I'm missing. I know I'm missing something, but on Sunday we got something to do.
Yeah, Sunday. Yes. Now, a lot of people have things to do Sunday morning around 11 a.m. Central Time.
Yeah.
And prayers to everybody. I hope they get through. I would love to see as many answers as possible and yeses. It's okay, Jim. We know that's your favorite question to ask, so don't worry about it. You're good to go.
But it gets asked every time, so just
it's a guaranteed in there. If you don't follow us, please give us a like out on YouTube under the name Mid-States Collectors Club 2525 if you're searching. And we'd like a subscribe, and a follow, because all of that helps us out. You know, the other big thing was the Ferrari sale today. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
For an Elite 64, I was pretty impressed with the sale. I thought it would go quicker than it did, but it still went. And I got to see some good feedback on the page about it. So that was nice. And yes, Jeff and Barb will be up in Mason City this weekend for their show. And again, as always, if you want to see a list of shows in the area, as Brent almost panics because he dropped something.
I just dropped the back half of the Lambo. It's all good.
You can go to our featured section under our page on Facebook and go click on events, and you'll see every show from Minnesota to Texas. Hello there, Giants fan. Welcome. Thank you for popping in tonight. I say, we should probably mention our own show coming up here December 14th in Elmwood, which Ken will be part of. He's got 2 tables, and he gets the stage, so he gets plenty of room to put out as much as he would like. We are sold out. We're like somewhere between 62 and 65 tables right now. The wait list is long, and it is strong, and we haven't had anybody call in, so that's good. Of course, be mindful of the weather. It is that time of year.
Unfortunately.
Gift exchange. I want to talk about that real quick. Gift exchange, $25 to $45. You're not required to participate, but the more people we have, the more fun it'll be. And it's not a true white elephant. It's just a gift exchange. So you put one gift in, you take one gift with you. And we've done this, I think, every year that we've been down in Elmwood. Now this is like the third.
So I want to say this is their 3rd year, yes.
Yep. Jeff Saccaroti has been a big pusher of that. So congrats to him on that.
Yeah. And like every year so far, like I got it. I mean, I normally pick last because, I don't want anybody to think that like, oh, I know what's in that box, so I always go last. And it's always been like really good stuff. Like it's, you might get 30 or 40 main lines in there, but hey, that's cool because some of those are worth better than that. Like this was one of my Christmas gifts.
Yep, I got a gift card to Target actually, and that was really helpful because it helped pay down some of my stuff. some of my diecast bill without having to dip into the wallet. So it's
go.
all about giving, folks. And again, we'll have the gassers there as well. We only have about 12 of those left. So if you want to get in and reserve one now, we would just hit again, in the featured section, reply to the ad there. And again, we are taking donations for Heartland for Hope, Unwrapped, Unopened Toys. And then if you haven't seen already, go look at the event invite and you will see the vendor giveaway car and the adult car as well. The adult car, yeah, there's only 30 of them, folks. When do they ship? We'll leave that up to you, Jim. We can either ship them out here as after Elmwood, or we can bring it with us the next time we go to Des Moines, but just message me afterwards. The two giveaway cars are pretty awesome. Plus there's a kids raffle as well. And I think we're going to do what we did in Omaha, which was we were going to allow folks to buy more of the raffle tickets for the vendor. Well, maybe not the vendor, but for the adult prize and for the kids prize as well. So that way they give them more chances and whatnot. All right. With that, I think that's about all I have. There's always more to come. And just stay tuned and have some fun. But, right now, let's get into it with Mr. Ken Dotsun. Ken, welcome to the show. Let's adjust you and put you in the middle there. First of all, what a display, man. Yeah. What a display.
Yeah. Thank you.
You are most welcome.
I noticed that as soon as you came on.
I don't know. Yeah, if you guys never seen Bruce Pascal's office, I kind of looked at his office. Of course, I didn't, go as big as he did, but I did take some inspiration from it. So I have the checkerboard floor, and then if you can see the orange track going around the front, that's actually a train. So
nice.
The 50th anniversary Lionel train, it goes around my whole office, and then
nice.
So, but this is all my personal collection. So
nice. Is it motorized or is it just kid powered?
Hang on a second. I can.
Already, we're off the rails.
Which is where we normally run at anyway. So
if it'll work for me.
Oh yes, there we go.
It's pretty loud, so I'm not going to let go very much. But anyway,
that's cool.
So there you go.
Very nice. That's super cool.
That's a win already. So 1,000 points to you. Now we had Bruce on a long time ago, a couple of years ago actually, and we got the 50 Cent tour, and it was pretty awesome. But I have to say that yours ranks right up there with his.
Yeah.
So,
I showed him pictures when I saw him at one of the conventions, and I told him how much I've seen of his, and I stole some of the ideas. So anyway, I'm gonna go flip that off real quick because it'll whistle the whole time.
Oops.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sorry about that. I was afraid of turning it on because it whistles, and that's why I leave it off a lot. So anyway,
no worries.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna get into this. How did you get started in the hobby?
Yeah, so I was collected Hot Wheels when I was little, and there's stories of my mom worked actually at a toy distributor shop when I was little. So she, instead of buying, when she would go to work, she would take some money from her lunch and actually bring me back a car home every day. And so I kind of didn't, I never, you make those mistakes. I had the Star Wars figures and the Hot Wheels, and I just sold them all at a garage sale. But then, my wife and I were at Target one night after we got married, and, I was like, I played with these when I was little, and could I get a couple? We're going to have kids, and bought a few. And before I know it, we have a whole room full. So that's how I started collecting. And then as
Nice.
far as how I got to the point of selling them is I was at a antique show. I came out of my office for my regular job, and they were having this big antique sale, and this guy had a booth full of all these Hot Wheels, and they were all treasure hunts and different things, and he had all kinds of prices on them. And I'm like, why are these so expensive? And he's like, well, they're treasure hunts. And I'm like, what's a treasure hunt? He's like, well, they're very hard to find. And then that was a challenge for me. So I wanted to start finding them. And my wife still jokes with me, like, I remember when you just said, all I want to do is find one treasure hunt. And, so since then I've, of course, with the business, I don't collect the basic as much anymore. I'm more into trying to find the toy fair cars or limited employee cars, or trying to find red lines. So I'm starting to build out my red line collection, which is a whole nother way to go down, and can be a little expensive. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't have many red lines myself, so probably got about 30 of them, and they're not mint by any means. So, but they're still red lines, and they're super cool. So
none of mine are mint. I have a few in the package that I picked up, here and there. So, but yeah, that's part of my collection. As far as A&J Toys goes, getting that started, of course, I'm a accounting major, and I started looking at, there's people that really want to buy this stuff. And so I was buying cases from a local comic book store, and then selling stuff at his shop. And he opened up a second store, and then built up too much debt and needed help. And he had a Mattel distributorship, and we basically worked out a deal that I would, basically buy the Mattel distributorship from him to help him out financially. And next thing I know, Cars movie comes out. It was a really good year for me, and the rest is kind of history. And then we've just, I've been known for selling cases for a long time. I think probably my biggest seller's always been the basics, because it's kind of what everyone collects. So I have always tried to sell basics at, a nice medium of not too much over retail, but yet enough that it makes sense for me. And that's kind of where my customer base has always been the basic cases. Of course, other people buy the premium stuff from me, but I've kind of I always focus around the basic case. But yeah, so anyway.
very nice.
No, that's awesome. I think a lot of people undervalue or underappreciate just how important basics are to the hobby as a whole, because there's some of the best return on investment from a seller standpoint, and then for a way for somebody to get in without really going down some of the rabbit holes you mentioned. Allows them to work up to where you're at in terms of buying. No, that's awesome.
I've always tried to talk people call me. I try to feel them out as far as when they call me from basics, and I always say, well, what are you looking for? Because I talk to a lot of new collectors, because usually when they call me and they're buying a basic, they're pretty new, and I try to look, collect what you like. Don't expect this to be a huge windfall for your kids or something like that. I said, this is about the enjoyment, what brings you joy. If you're trying to buy this to hope that it's someday going to be worth more, that's probably not the avenue to go down. And so, and then I try to find out if they're just looking for, the treasure hunts, or if they're wanting truly to buy the case. And I'm like, look, go look at the YouTube videos that do the unboxing. Make sure the case, you love all the cars, because if you are just looking for the super treasure hunt or the treasure hunt, just buy that. You'll be more happy, because, if you buy a case and it's sealed, there's excitement about that first crack, but then when it's open and it's not there, excitement kind of deflates, right? So I would rather have a better experience for the customer where they get more cars than they want than just hoping for the super, but it's still, that first time, even though the amount of cases I see, it's still, I get a slight excitement just by cracking that first case because you just don't know,
Yeah,
So,
100%.
Yeah, that's a very, as I call it, my daily disappointment when I get to go to Walmart and Target. Although I didn't get to check that out, I had to run a couple errands tonight. But give somebody else a chance to get something.
Yeah.
I think maybe you already answered this a little bit, but what is the hardest part of running your online? I call it an online hobby store. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah. I think probably just trying to stay on top of everything and managing your inventory. Because I've seen a lot of people go out of business by carrying too much inventory. And I've always tried to run the business that I'd rather miss out on a sale than have too much, because nobody's going to like it if they buy a case from me and then, 2 months later, they could have got it cheaper. Right. So I really want to move through the product and, and then I've gone to the point of, a lot of my competitors pre-sell, and I don't really do that anymore. I've had some issues in the past where, orders may not have got completely filled, and you don't want to oversell, because then you have unhappy people. I had a really bad experience with Japan Historics 1, and that was rough. So, so I kind of learned my lesson from there. And so now I know I probably miss sales by not doing pre-sales. And usually, and there's probably going to be some people that say, well, you got pre-sales out there. Yes, I do. If I know, like, usually every Friday, Mattel tells me what I'm getting the following week. So if you see a pre-sale on my website, it's usually because I expect the product within the next 2 weeks, or I'm pretty confident we're going to get it, but I won't everyone's super excited about that new Fast and Furious truck that's coming out, C2. And I'm super excited. I don't buy a lot of Fast and Furious, but that case I'm extremely excited about because of that truck. And I haven't put any pre-orders up because it's not due out until March. So I'm not going to send those money for that long and wait. And it's just not the business model I want to do. I'd much rather wait and get it, and I respond to everybody. Hopefully they'll wait for me and buy it from me. But I also know, some people just want to be on the list, and that's cool too. And that's why there's so many different hobby stores out there. You got everyone that fits everyone's need. So, and we focus mostly on Hot Wheels. That's what I know the most about. And it's been hard for me to go into other diecasts because I can only do so much in the day. I do this as a side business. I have a full-time job, and I've been blessed that I have a lot of friends that have helped me over the years with this business, and a lot of close friends right now that, if it wouldn't have been for this hobby, I wouldn't have met them. So that's what I think also, if I was to point one thing with this hobby is, building the friendships, necessarily is more important than the dollars made or, sacrificing, to make that extra buck. It's building the relationships. And I have a lot of friends that have been friends of mine for a long time because of this hobby. So,
yes, I think you hit on a very good point. I totally get where you're coming from on there's different flavors for different folks, and there's enough of this diecast world to go around to have everybody have a seat at the table, so to speak. But friendships over anything is probably the most important part. So that's a great point you make right there.
Thank you.
Where do you get most of your customers from? Is it from the online or from shows, or does one versus the other kind of feed into each other?
Yeah, I think most of mine has been from online. That's where majority of my sales are. I can tell you the reason I'm going up to your show is, what I noticed, I started going to the Tulsa show and I do locally, and I kind of didn't do it for a few years. But recently I've decided to, because I look at my customer base in the US and I didn't really have a lot of people around Kansas City. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense, and then I'd go to a show and I would see someone else's, that's supplying these people. And I'm like, well, that bothers me, So, so I decided to do the shows, and I've really made an effort to try to the last year and a half to focus on shows again. I know couple of our local members have really done a good job of building out Kansas City's gone for a while without a really good show. And there's a couple people that are building out a pretty decent show. It's starting to grow and grab momentum, but it's hard to beat. Going down to Tulsa where there's 200 tables and that. And then I'm excited going up your show because I don't have a lot of people north of Missouri. So again, getting the name out is the word of mouth, I still think is the best. So.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I know when we talked to a couple of guys and they had heard that you were coming, and we had gotten you confirmed for December after not being able to get you in November. They were super excited about it. And they were like, man, that's huge. So, like you
I
said,
hope I don't disappoint then if that puts a lot of pressure on me. It is actually
No.
next week. We're expecting some good product next week. So I should have some new stuff for the show. We're getting the latest Fast and Furious next week. We're getting the latest, that Pantone set, which I think is really cool. I think
definitely.
I think some people are not going to like it, but I think it's a cool set. And then we're getting the pop culture, and then we're getting restock of Team Transport.
Oh, wow.
So I should have some new stuff for the show. I am actually going to bring I'm going to try out some M2. So I'll have some M2 trucks for the show that I'm getting from well, everyone knows probably who sells those. So anyway.
That's the greatest thing about, or with our shows in general, is you can buy anything. You can find anything. I mean, I have seen everything from, antique play sets to the brand new state-of-the-art release that just came out. So, having a little bit of mix of everything never hurts. But, having cases of really good stuff that's right there. I mean, that new, the patent, I remember how to say that word. I can't. Pantone set. Like, I'm super excited about it because, and the funny thing is they've actually kind of done it before, but they just did it with the Demolition Derby cars for the monster truck sets.
Oh, okay.
They're all one color. So I'm kind of excited to have some more of those. And
they're actually doing, so there's going to be 2 releases of that set. So
nice.
So we're first, so there'll be a second one later on in the year. So
that's cool.
The Fast and Furious set that I was looking forward to seeing the most, besides that truck, because that truck is just amazing so far from the pictures that I've seen, is there's a couple more Ferraris coming out. And they're the cool part about the Ferraris is that they're from the first 2 movies. And they're not just like oops, here you go. They get about 1 minute to 2 minutes of screen time. And I'm like really looking forward to that. I already see a video coming with the Supra and the black Ferrari.
I have seen
Ferrari.
Have you guys talked about the change for this year for the Fast and Furious? Have you guys talked about that in the past, or is that?
Why don't you share that with us, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Neither do I. So
okay, so they changed it this year. There's going to be 4 cars in each release of the Fast and Furious that are going to be the Spectral Flame. So in the first case, it's going to have that Eclipse that is the Spectral Flame color, and it's going to be in every case. It's going to be in every case, but there's only 1 per case. So you're not going to have 2 complete sets in the case. So, what I would, it works for people like me who like selling cases.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
You're guaranteed it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to think about it, but they're going to have 4 cars in each release that are going to be the Spectra Flame color. And so there's only really going to be 4 other cars in each. That first case, a lot of recycles in there. And so that's going to be a little rough, but I think it's an interesting idea. We'll see how it plays out. But the Eclipse is not going to be in a regular color. It's only, and then that, I forget the second car. And then one of the other ones is the Charger, the Dodge Charger, the black one.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to make that Spectral Flame. And then I forget what the 4th car is.
So I want to say, if the Eclipse is one, I haven't seen that one yet, but I've seen the RX-7 that Dom drives, the red one.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, that one is the next release with the truck.
Nice. Oh, okay. Well, I seen it. It looked like a Spectra Flame.
It is
dark red. So yeah, that'd be cool.
Nice.
Oh, yay! More things to chase.
Yeah, that's what I put up there. Okay, so yeah, anytime you want to drop little hints like that, we're okay with that. So if you run across anymore.
Yeah, we don't know. We've never said that we knew everything. So
we really don't know anything at all.
It's always fun when we can learn something too. So that always makes me happy. So
okay, so how has social media affected A&J Toys? This is a question I really wanted to ask you because you kind of mentioned it and you were trying to get yourself back out there a little bit more with some help from a younger generation.
We did a good job early on building our reputation before really social media took off. I thought we were staying really busy. I'll be honest, I fought it for a long time because I didn't do a very good job of it because, when you have getting phone calls and emails and then to add Instagram, now I'm answering on Instagram and I'm answering on Facebook. It's a lot for kind of a sole business owner. But now I have a 17, my youngest is 17 and he's really helped me out the last 2 years. And he's kind of my social media director now. And so the most recent post, you saw the last 2 days, he's completely did that. So, and it would not be as good if I didn't have him, and it was great because it was so much fun. The other night we were just sitting on the couch when we were talking about new product that I was getting, and because we got more of the timeless icons, which is a great set, by the way, and more team, and then we got some Matchbox in, and I'm like, okay, we need to get all this on, and I want to make sure we put restock out there. And he's like, I got you, Dad. So we sat there and we were comparing notes, and he was putting it all on my story, which I can't even tell you how to put a story out there. And he's doing it all for me. So, and we were at dinner tonight and he was talking, you've got your numbers have really went up. He's like, you need to, hook up the, so you're getting monetizing this. And I guess that was my frustration is that, I would see how much, people were getting, as far as product and stuff and getting stuff from Mattel. And I'm like, I'm actually moving the product, and you have influencers out there that are just, pushing the product. And I'm like, how's that work? That, so I've really tried to embrace the last 2 years to really try to, especially in the last 6 months. And, so anybody that hasn't liked my Instagram page, I'd really like to, because I'd love to get to 10,000. I'm like 8,500 right now. So I'd love to get to 10,000 soon. So if if any of you haven't, I would really appreciate that at some point. So.
Yeah, I know we've started following you as well. So if you're on our Instagram out there, please give A&J a like as well. We'd really appreciate that. I mean, that's what we're here for. We're trying to help promote everybody. The way I look at the show is as the old version of the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. We're here to make you look good. Except I don't have the comedy chops that
No,
he
you
did.
do not.
Well, you didn't send over a makeup artist
85.29
for me either, though. So
You're at 85.29 now. So I for some reason did not hadn't liked you yet. So then again, I'm not on Instagram very often. So
I think that's the big thing with social media. It's the constant have to do it. And that's what I saw with us is that the more we were doing it and doing a post every day, it seemed to be like we were gaining more traction and more followers. And like once this breaks down, we'll do some AI clips out of it and we'll push that to everything else. And you know, we got to make a 4-hour video with Zarnock.
I have some great. I got to. I have some great influencers that have helped me build my name, and continue to push my product out there, our name out there. Of course, Lamley does a lot of unboxing for us, and then a basic, and then also Matthew on Wheels. He's done some unboxing for me. Maybe the day I retire from my regular job, maybe I'll start doing unboxing. It's a lot. To get the constant contact out there and stuff it is a lot of time consuming when I'm, my primary focus is trying to get, when guys buy stuff from me, that it gets delivered to them timely. So, I'd rather substitute making stuff get out the door than, trying to get contact for the website or for the Instagram. But unboxing is probably the next level I need to do. And I've tried to start doing more of, for at car shows or at the convention, trying to take some pictures because, I forget at times that not everybody goes to the convention. So
I do as well.
Yeah. So. Anyway.
So before we switch over to Brent here, he'll pick up with the next question. I do have a quick story for you. The very first time I met you was in 2018, actually, in LA.
Okay.
And we were in your room, and it was me and Wayne Heed from Baltimore. We walked into your room, and you had the very first Circuit Legends set, the one that has the Daytona Shelby in it.
Yeah.
And you got the box, you undid the box and everything, and then you were so disappointed because all the cards were smashed up and they were a disaster.
Yeah.
And Wayne was going to buy them just to take the wheels off. And well, I couldn't let that happen. I'm going, oh, this is perfect because cardboard is not sacred to me.
Yeah.
So you offered the whole set for $20, and I was like, hell yeah, I'll take that. So that's my very first introduction to you.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I'm glad it's good experience. So
right.
Yeah. The Hot Ones diecast says, "What's up, Ken? Good to put a face with the voice on the phone." So there you go. There's a little shout out for you. Hey, Brent, we'll pick it up with you now.
All right. So, when is the busiest time of year for you?
Whenever Mattel ships a really good case out, so there's not real. I mean, if it's a hot case, it's busy. So like, these, the Timeless Icons was great. That was a fabulous set, clean, not a lot of graphics, great group of cars. So that's been very busy. I anticipate the next basic case with the possibility of the Ferrari treasure hunt is going to be extremely busy. Mattel does typically push a lot of product out to us at the end of a quarter. So usually I see an uptick of a lot of new product the week after a end of the quarter. So, like First week of October, which is usually the California convention, which is rough because I'm out usually at the convention, and then getting in product is tough. And then, the week after, the first week of July. And then right now, typically in November and December, or usually December, Mattel starts pushing product out almost every day. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it is Christmas time, so, or holiday time.
So they'll, and then I'll probably get a week after Christmas, because they close for Christmas, and then they want to push a bunch of product out before the end of the year. So anything they have held back that retail doesn't take, they push out to the hobby stores.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
We've been very fortunate. The business, I've always been surprised and feel blessed that the business has done as well as it has. It's been fun. It's a fun hobby.
Cool. So, what are your most popular items?
We sell a lot of basics. I think and car culture is extremely popular. I wish we could get Boulevard, but Boulevard's a Walmart exclusive in the States. It's a fantastic. I mean, the castings are great. We would sell a ton if we could get it on a regular basis, but unfortunately, that's a Walmart exclusive. But I would say, since basics are my most hot, because you have the short card, you have worldwide, and you have US, and between the three, I sell a ton. That usually is what puts up my numbers for the year with Mattel, is because all three of those different, because you have typically for one letter code, you have all three cases. So
nice.
But and just I get this question a lot. I've never seen a difference between how many supers are in US versus worldwide versus short card. But again, we don't open a lot of the cases. We ship them out sealed. But from doing this over 20 years, I don't think there's a real difference. I don't think there's a definite method to Mattel's madness on those. How they go out. So,
gotcha.
But everyone has their opinion. From someone that's seen a lot of cases, I just don't agree. So,
yeah. All right. So I think you hinted on this a little bit, but we'll see if I'm right in my own head. What does it mean for you to be a part of this diecast community?
I enjoy it. I mean, I think it's built a lot of relationships for me. I have friends that I wouldn't have but for this hobby. And then I grew up on not only did my mom work at a toy distributor, but I grew up on my dad sold used cars, so and had a car lot, and if he didn't pass away early, maybe I would be selling the real thing. But this is kind of, I guess, my, from my growing up, and then, I enjoy, I felt like I built a name here, and A&J, I don't know if you guys know, but A stands for Alex, which is my oldest son, and J's for John, my youngest. And so, the original company was Alex's Toy Chest, but then we had the second child, and the second child threatened to sue if I didn't change the name. So I didn't want to go through a lawsuit with my youngest.
No, never did.
Who was a favorite. So yeah, no, it's been a family business. And then I have some great friends that help me out with the business. I have a couple of close friends that I talk to on a regular basis that we kind of compare notes about the hobby. What we think is going to be hot. Because, you at the beginning of the year, for car culture, I had to place my order last week for the full year for how many I want for the full year from Mattel. So I have, when you see the cars, you're like, well, what do we think about this set? And how much do we want to gamble? So, and then you have to order, if you want solid pack cases that they're doing now, you have to put that order in at the beginning of the year. So you could really take a substantial loss if you miss the calculation. So sometimes I can add on during the year, but they really want to see a lock number for the full year on all the cases. So, and then I have another friend of mine and his wife. She does all my boxing up of my stuff and ships it out. So I don't know between the two. I wouldn't know what I would do without them. So and it always cracks me up because if someone calls and I get one of those occasional calls where they're like, someone got into my case, and I'm like, it must be someone in your warehouse. And I'm like, I assure you, it's not somebody in my warehouse, because the person that is boxing this up could care less about how.
Right.
So anyway, but yeah, so I have some really great relationships because of this.
Yeah, one of the last cases that I got, it was double taped as well. It wasn't. It was from a different distributor, but it still had the chase in there. So it was like, I mean, sometimes they say that Mattel does the double tape. Sometimes they say it's the distributors. Sometimes they say it's people in the back room. It just kind of depends on. Everybody's got a theory of why they can't find a car,
Yeah.
And what it literally breaks down to for most of the times is you were the second person there. That's literally what it is, unfortunately, in the stories at least.
I like opening up double taped cases because I think there's a reason why they're double taped. So it was rough. I'll tell you, the Circuit Legends was rough seeing that whole palette when I got that in and saw that whole palette double taped. That was painful to see because I was like, oh, this is not going to go well. And thankful for everybody. No one complained, and we listed it as double taped, and luckily all distributors got double taped ones on those cases, so it was easy, and that's why I filmed. It's one of the few times I actually filmed being, seeing our shipment, because I was like, look, I got to put this out there that every single one of these cases were double taped, because that Ferrari chase everyone was going crazy for, and I just wanted to. Let that know. So anyway, but traditionally, like double tape ones, usually it's customers that have been with me, and I can tell you there's some customers I've had for over 20 years since I've been doing this business. It's fantastic to have people that have bought from me, that I've never met, and it's super fun when I go to conventions and people come into my room and they'll be like, I've been buying from you for 5 years, and it's the first time I meet them. It's crazy to know that happens. So anyway,
well, that's a perfect segue into the next question. What are you looking forward to okay, there's a word missing in here, that's why. What are you looking forward to for the Dallas convention?
Again, to connect with people, and then also it's fun to see the cars, and then I'm hopeful. The last time we went to Dallas, my youngest went with me, and he was, I want to say like 7 or 8, and we rented a cargo van, one of the transits, and we took down there, and still talks about. We took pictures before we left, and then on the way back, we actually got pulled over in Lawrence because I was driving this, windowless white van at 3 a.m. coming back home, and I was going 5 miles over the speed limit.
Yeah,
pretty sure I got profiled. Yeah, and
it's a possibility.
He's thinking I-70. He just made a drug bust, and pulls me over, and my son's asleep on the there on the side. And I wake him up and I'm like, don't get worried. We're getting pulled over. It'll be fine. We'll talk to him. And the guy, the gentleman couldn't have been nicer, but he took his flashlight and signed in the back. I knew he was, and he's like, well, that's a lot of toys. And I'm like, yeah, we're just coming back from a show in Dallas. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, well, you're going a little bit over speed limit. I'm like, yeah, we're just trying to get home. It's late. He's like, well, just be safe, and let us go with just a warning. But my son still brings that up. And you remember that time we got pulled over, Dad? And, and I'm like, yes, I remember, So anyway, it was fun memory. And anyway, I don't know if I've less tried to go to the shows anymore to try to sell, because it's hard to take the product, because you just never know. And it's hard to decide what product to take. Used to be at one point Mattel allowed you to drop ship, and that was fantastic, because new product would come in and I had them drop ship it to the hotel and I just sell out, and but now with trying to pick stuff and bring stuff down, it's just hard. And then you miss out on going room to room and trying to find some deals, because then you hear all the stories where I just found so-and-so car, for $10, and you're like, oh my God. So anyway.
And that happens a lot too. So
I can relate.
Yeah.
I can relate.
So
I think we've all got those stories.
Right. Yeah. So, and there was one convention I was at where this guy, and we still joke about the room, but this guy, he had room just packed full of all kinds of stuff. And you walked in there and you were just filling your box full of stuff. And you would yell, I'll give you $20 for this. And he's like, sold. And you'd walk out the door, and it was crazy. It was like bananas what was going on in there. And people were just going in there, just filling up these boxes. And he just was like, I got to get all this stuff gone. And, and it's just crazy, the story about that one. And anyway, it's just, the stories from all the conventions are just hilarious. So
and they are, and it doesn't matter what the location was or who was there. They're always epic stories. It can be from literally going for dinner to going across the state, or you can. There's something always going on, and there's always some kind of excitement. It doesn't matter what it is, even if you hear about it on the secondhand side of things.
Yeah,
there was. I want to say it was Atlanta when a hotel window fell out. It just fell and it landed on. Thankfully it didn't hit anybody, but the whole window just fell out. It's like everybody was talking about that for like a day and a half. So
sometimes you go to convention.
My wife complained to Atlanta because there was a fire alarm that went off, and I was and so she's like already in her pajamas. She's like, "You got to be kidding me," And so. Anyway, but
the funny thing about
go ahead.
No, I was going to say about that fire alarm is we were outside and you could literally see people up in the windows like,
I know.
It's like they didn't it's like, dude, there's a fire truck out here. You might want to leave the building. Just saying,
Yeah, we were in the middle.
We met a great guy at Atlanta. My wife still talks about this. She was at the bar. And I was up looking around, and she can talk. She's my social butterfly. She can talk to anybody, and she starts talking to this guy, and he collects watches, and he had this big watch that was gold. It's I forget the name of the company now, but we got to talking and we sharing stories, and I kid you not, two weeks later, he takes my address and he's like, I'm going to send you something. And I'm like, okay. 2 weeks later, he sends me one of the watches that he bought as a gift, because my wife sat there and talked to him and bought him and his buddy appetizers. And it was just hilarious. The best story I have is one of the first conventions we went to, our youngest was still, Alex was born and he was still young, and we were late going down to dinner, and Jennifer gets us, she's like, we don't have a lot of room, but we'll get you guys together. The next thing I know, we see next to Strauss, and my wife, doesn't really, she's only been to like a couple conventions. I think this one may have been her first one that she went to, or second one she went to. She turns to Strauss and says, how many of these have you been to? And I'm just like,
all of them.
I leaned over and I'm like, he's the one that started it. He was nice enough to her, and said, well, I'm kind of the one that gained all this stuff, and his kind of grumpy matter that everyone has a Strauss story. But anyway, But anyway, it was pretty funny.
There you go.
Nice. Yeah. Sometimes you go to convention, you come back with nicknames, whether you want them or not. You know?
Yeah, that has happened.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, I interjected there.
No, you're fine.
No.
So what has been the biggest change in the hobby since you started?
I think just probably the impact of social media on the hobby. I think there's good parts of it. I also think with the these, the guys that are reselling kind of the shoes, I think that's created a little bit of a craze that, perhaps people that don't collect at all are now looking for the collectibles because there's guys that, and I've never seen, I never remember that before, where there's guys that push, trying to flip a certain toy.
Yeah.
And I'm always amazed by that because, they make it sound like it's easy to find this stuff at the stores, and we all know it's not.
Yeah.
And so I think, the impact that social media and then, and I don't know, the changes with the downside, I guess, also is the, I won't say positive, but I guess the downside is also the kind of the replica stuff that's coming out of the factories bothers me. That concerns me. I still don't know how you can get a handle on that because I think, there's stuff that comes out as prototypes that are not really true prototypes. So I think that damages the hobby. But, I think I love that social media, you get to see the cases and people do unboxings because that helps me as a seller because I can tell somebody, look, well, I want to buy a B case or I want to buy a C case. Well, go look at the unboxing and make sure you're going to be happy with all the cars. And I don't that was available early on. So, and then of course the, e-commerce, if it wasn't for the e-commerce website, A&J Toys wouldn't exist. Right. That's the biggest, some of the biggest changes I see.
Nice. Okay. So are you to the last question there?
Well, I'm at 11. So if you want to take 11, and then I figure we'd feel it to the guy in Iowa for the last one.
Yeah. Okay. Because there's a couple questions that aren't on the list that Ken and I talked about here, and something that he showed us earlier before we came on. So we'll get to that. But I did want to catch up. There were a couple questions that came in, and I wanted to get those up there real quick. Mike Jones wanted to ask, will you have B or C cases in Elmwood?
Unfortunately, I won't have C's. I know C's are going to be more popular. I may have some B's if anybody wants a specific seal case, as long as it's reasonable, as far as I'm happy to make sure I put it in the car and bring it. It would be hard for me to, if, I get 30 orders and, all I got is sealed cases and then I don't have anything to sell because I only have my SUV to fill. So, but, if there's specific cases, if somebody wants to reach out to me and I can try to arrange for, to make sure I keep something sealed for them as much as I can. So I'd be happy to do that for you. So.
Okay. And I have A&J Toys on Instagram, correct? It's not the ampersand, it's the word and spelled out.
Yeah, it is. And yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So Jim, our guy from Iowa, wants to know if Mattel marks the cases in some way for you to know whether or not there's a super. I've seen this a couple of times now.
Not that I'm aware of, but I have noticed recently there's been like dots on the cases. But I can assure you, I've opened those cases and there's not necessarily been supers in there. So, I don't, there used to be where you would see one case. I don't know how long, guys remember far back, but when the boxes were in the squatty boxes where they weren't double stacked, those you used to be able to, if the treasure hunt was in one case, it was in all of them. That is not the case anymore. you know, so, and when I say the case code, it's the full, you know, it's the B, like if it's a B case, then it's the letters after, so all those are the same. I've had pallets where all the cases were exactly the same, and, you know, I would ship them out and people, not everybody got supers. So,
yeah, that's a good question. I just remember when I first got really hardcore to where I'm at now. Remember, well, if you found the regular, then the super was in there and it was on one side of the stack, and that gone away a long time ago. And now it's just like, well, if it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's okay. Well, it's not there. Again, I take no responsibility for writing any of these questions. So any grammar errors.
There's definitely missing a word in there. I was like, what is this going on? So,
I blame frozen ATMs.
there you go.
The hot one says they found you through social media.
Great, thanks.
And Jim says he's not asking the question. Nick wants to know if you're bringing the timeless icon cases to Elmwood.
I will be out. Sorry. I will have some sets. But the cases, thanks to all my customers, when we listed those the other day, they sold out in a matter of minutes. So
I'm trying to remember which cars were in that one.
That's the Lexus. That's one of these, the Lexus, and then the RF.
I know which one.
You know, the
F40 or F50.
The
actually.
R34 Skyline, the Porsche. It's fantastic.
Yeah, the Death Porsche.
Yeah.
And we're actually sold out of Japan store cases now too. So it's been a good couple of weeks for us.
Yeah, I can imagine.
If Nate Markovic is watching, I hope you show up because you might have a chance to get an LFA. You might have to buy the whole set to do it, but
no, we
might
have
get your LFA
cases of that, so I can. I will definitely have those. I have solid cases of those.
So. Right.
Yeah, I was very excited for that car. I mean, even more so than the Ferrari.
Yes, I don't
the
have
LFA.
Well, so you guys told me you want to rip cars, so this is the car I would eventually like to buy. I know it's a Matchbox, so I'm not gonna.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
It's a Lexus LC 500, and this is kind of the car I keep on joking with my wife that I want to open or buy someday. So anyway, but this just dropped in the C cases of Matchbox.
Nice. So, I haven't seen that one yet.
That's a nice Toyota.
We just got the cases in this week, and it's a really it's cool casting. I'm hoping it'll be over in the Hot Wheels too at some point. So
nice. Well, I guess that it's answered that. What would your favorite casting be? Or that that's what you really want, but you might have a favorite casting.
That's what I want to do. I was a big collector of buses for a long time. I don't know if I have a casting that I just have to have anymore. I'm kind of all over the board anymore. I mean, of course I do own the 2018 Camaro and the 2013 Camaro. So I have a lot of those. And I'll buy that in almost any way it comes out. But anyway, so.
No. Yeah. So, would you mind showing everybody what you had shown us earlier?
Yeah. So this is one of my prized pieces in my collection. And so this is one of 72 buses. And it's actually officially Mattel licensed product. So you can look, it's officially everything. This is not a custom. So what happened with this car was at the convention, and one of the guys that used to work, he was one of the guys that took pictures for the convention at the time, and he somehow was going to do a charity poker event, and it was going to be 72 of us, and you were going to pay to get into it. Well, he took the cases into the hotel and put them on one of those luggage carts and told the people, like, look, his room wasn't ready. So he's like, put this in a secure location because these are highly valuable. Don't leave this open. Well, apparently the hotel had a string where a guy was coming in stealing luggage that was setting out. And someone came in and sure enough lifted one of the cases of these and walked out the door with them. Well, the guy went down to get his stuff and he didn't have the full 2 cases. So he, made a claim against the hotel. And then he proceeded the rest of the weekend, instead of having the poker tournament, he decided to sell some of them kind of to establish what they're worth. And he came into my room, and at that time I was collecting a lot of buses, and I was like, sure, I'll buy one. And it was the most I ever spent for a car. Back then, I was actually afraid to tell my wife how much I paid for it.
Been there.
Yeah. And so, I'm sitting back, and I work for a bank. At that time I was working for a bank, and I'm sitting there in my office, and I see this law firm number pop up on my screen calling me. And I'm like, well, that's weird. I mean, it's, I'm like, wonder what this is. So I answered, not thinking it was going to be about Hot Wheels. I figured it was going to be bank issue. And it was the law firm representing the hotel that was in the lawsuit. And the guy the person that was doing that was suing the hotel, trying to wanted to claim that his cars were all worth this set value, wanting them to pay the full amount. And I talked to the attorney, and I don't know how many people know, but I'm also an attorney too. And I was like, I start laughing, and he's like, what's funny about this? And I said, it's odd to me that this guy's being able to capitalize on a bad event by another actor, where he was supposed to do an event himself. And what I understood, it was going to be $100 to enter. And I assure you, I paid more than $100 for this car. I mean, so he actually got to sell these cars for more than what he should have sold them for, because he was supposed to have a poker tournament where you could enter, and that was your entry car. And then there was supposedly going to be, he was going to buy some red lines for people for the final table. Well, he didn't have the event because there was only 72 of these made. I think half of them were stolen by the guy who came in and stole them. And the guy was like, the attorney was like, why would you spend so much money on a toy? And I'm like, because of this story, because I'm going to be able to tell this for the rest of my life, that the attorney for, I forget if it was a Marriott or Hilton, called me on the phone to talk to me about it. So anyway, that's the story.
That's a good story, though.
Yeah,
I like it.
So that is not one I will ever rip out of the package.
No, I would definitely suggest that not myself. So,
and I don't really know. I've only seen a couple on eBay pop up now and then, so I really don't know what its actual value is. But it's not one I'm probably going to let go of. So.
No, I would not. If it's one of 72 and half of them were stolen, I would definitely hold on to that one, because who knows what happened to all of those. So that's crazy.
Well, there was rumors that the guy was selling them out of his back of his truck like 2 days later. There was the guy that stole them was trying to sell them, and there was
like on property, or
I don't know where they were, where he was selling, but he was eventually caught.
Nice.
They actually did. Yeah.
Well, that makes me happy that he was caught. Cool.
And then the other car I wanted to, you talk about ripping. I'm sure most of you know. Yeah. So one of the great events that I miss at the conventions was the Red Line Club party, where they would actually do you could rip open Red Line cars, and then they would give you tickets and do prizes. And, if you can see, that's a whole display of cars that I ripped out over the years at conventions. And, I would take 20 or 30 Red Line Club cars and rip them open at the convention. But that's one that blew people's mind. That, and I did the same night I did that green Silverado. I had people going, what in the world are you doing? And I'm like, it's out of the package. I'm gonna,
They're
you know,
toys.
I'm gonna display it, you know, and I got enjoyment out of displaying them, and so a lot of my Redline Club, especially the older stuff, is all in that back display.
Very nice.
Yeah, but this is one of them that you know, caused the most stir. You know,
Yeah, no, that's one on my.
It's a low run.
Yeah, that's on my Grail list. So someday, hopefully.
Yeah.
Nice.
See,
So,
the openers I have for tonight aren't even Hot Wheels, so I get to rip the second half of this. This would be the B version. It's another one of the 61. What is it? 61 Dodge Dart Phoenix Lowrider, and it's in purple. So I'll pop this one because I ripped the orange one a couple of weeks ago here on the live show. So,
Well, I haven't ripped one of these open yet. So I'm
okay.
little pucker action going on. Man, I don't even think it's even worth asking question 11 at this point.
Well, we won't worry about 11. We'll just finish off with 12.
Yeah. Good. I mean, I ripped mine out the other day. The cool thing about that truck is how they did the ramp. That was pretty cool.
And I haven't opened mine yet, so I can't.
I'm curious how they're if they're going to be able to reuse that one for anything, or how they're going to do that.
Yeah, because that's a pretty specific.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You got another one, Brent?
Yeah, I got another AutoWorld, but this one's from the Land Yacht series. I picked this up just a couple weeks ago down there in the Tulsa, Oklahoma at the T-Town show. I couldn't pass up on the deal. I like my Cadillacs, I always have. So we got the 1976 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. For some reason, it's not. The picture is black, but for some reason, this one's red. So I don't know. I guess they screwed that up. So I'm going to go ahead and open my. Let's see. This would be my first Ultra Red that I've ever opened. So
cool.
Yeah. And there we go. We have an Ultra Red 76 Cadillac Land Yacht.
Nice.
That thing is mad. Like, for comparisons, let me grab something normal here.
I think of Goodfellas when I see that car.
So here's just an IROC Z28 Hot Wheel. Look at the length difference. That's a. I don't even know if that's going to fit in the case. Will it fit in the case? Oh, it will. Very nice.
There you go.
So yeah, there we go. My
Nice
first Ultra
plug in
Red.
there.
Yeah. That's pretty. I like that. I've never opened one of these before.
Okay, so I guess I have to do two now. So here's the first one. We'll test and see if the hood will actually go down and it's not like the Toyota. I actually saved the card this time.
There you go.
Well, we need a door stop or a door hanger.
This is true.
So here's the new RX-7. I think this is pretty cool. I like the engine detail. Oops.
So I did tell you guys that I do like buying employee cars.
Oh, Lord.
So I want to show you one.
Here. I have one
that I recently picked up. It's a task force car. I've been told it's one of 25. So when you open it, it's the Ferrari.
Oh wow! Yeah, haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah. So that is one of the ones I just recently, and somebody, one of the guys that's known for being able to pick up employee cars, got this for me. But and then I could show you a few of my. Here's a.
Well, we're waiting. I didn't know this, but the hood actually comes up on this one. Doesn't come up far, but
nice pieces from the collection of, because Mattel
Wow.
does take care of me on a regular basis with shipping us Toy Fair cars.
God.
Man, those are two I'd like to cross off a list at some point.
Yeah.
I've been blessed that Mattel is kind enough to get those to me because they know I collect them, and so I've gotten the last few years. I haven't gotten the Camaro for this year yet, which I really want, but I'm hopeful at some point I'll get that.
Yeah. That your head over diecast. You're absolutely right. That's a great flex because, all I've got is a Mars bar car.
There you go.
But see, here's the thing. There's a funny story behind this little truck.
Yes.
Is he wanted it. Well, I like heavy industrial trucks. There's a whole case over there of a lot of big trucks and bulldozers and stuff. And then all my highway haulers, well, not all of them, but a good chunk of them are up in this vicinity. There's a whole area of highway haulers. So we actually coin flipped for that Mars truck, and I lost. So
did we use a penny? Did we use a penny this time?
Yes, we did, because it was the day like after that they announced that the pennies was going away. So we thought it was only official to use a penny. So
have you guys ever seen the guy that on Instagram? I think he does a lot of tennis shoes. What I stole the idea at the last convention was he'll do a flip, like if you make an offer, it's so I did it at the last convention, and my son was like, you need to film that, because I had two guys. The room was full, and the guy was like, would you take $30 for this set? And I'm like, I tell you what, it's $40 on it. I'll take 30, but we got to flip for it. So if I get Hales, it's 40. If you get tails, whatever it falls, I'll do your price. And
there you go.
And he was like, that sounds awesome. And then I flip it in. I forget who it worked out for, but anyway, it was pretty fun. I'm like, I should have filmed this. This would be great to put on Instagram. And and so I thought about starting to do that at toy shows. That would be fun to, I got to build that in at some point. So.
That does sound like a fun idea.
Yeah, that'd be heckin' cool. I think I heard about that in it was either LA or St. Louis. I think somebody was talking about that had happened, and it was you that had done it. I was like, oh, that's so cool. All righty, well, we're down to the last question.
Got the last question.
All right.
We talking driver's side or the correct way, the passenger side?
Yeah, I was struggling with this question because I'm like, I've never really thought about it. And then I got looking around my display cases and I'm like, oh my God, I go the passenger side almost in all of them, because I guess it's the, they kind of put it in your mind subconsciously that you just follow it, right? That I think that's what it is. Because I've never really thought about it. And then when you guys brought it up, although I do, the cases that Carney puts out, that they have the angled ones that are like at a 5-degree angle. I really like those, and I should have stuck with those because I really think those make cars look great. To have them at the 45-degree angle, facing you. So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And see, that was the thing, is when I originally started out with wanting to do the room, I was looking in. I actually have a couple of 36 count, like saying plexiglass mirrored cases like the one you just showed, but they were just open, just kind of like these that are behind me. And I was looking into, I'd been to a convention or two, and I was looking at seeing those, the angled ones. And I was like, I kind of like the angled ones because you get to see the front and a little bit of the side. So I kind of like that aspect. But when it comes to most of the deco work on all of these, it's always on the sides. So in my mind, it was like, I'm just going to build really big 4x4 cubes, basically, is what I decided to do. Me and a friend of mine who I will be forever eternally grateful for to help me build these things, because I get a lot of compliments on them, and I'm very happy with the way that we decided to do them. So yeah, I definitely like the flat version versus the tilted out 45. So
all right. Well, I think that's all the questions we have. We asked the hidden questions.
Yes, we did.
So Ken, we'll give you the last minute or so. If you want to give yourself a plug, a shout out, and kind of let us know what you're going to do.
I just want to take the opportunity to thank all my friends that have helped me over the years with this, and my family, because if my wife wouldn't have been understanding and allow me to do this business, because I look back over the years, and sometimes she took care of the kids when I was out filling orders and doing boxes at midnight, and for a lot of years she sacrificed our garage to store inventory, and where she had to park outside. Fortunately, now we're in a house where I have my own detached garage, and then I have another location, which for the business location to store my stuff. But and then the friends that I've made, and just everybody that's helped me along the way. There's guys that I were friends with that, I didn't have a pickup truck and I need to go pick up a pallet from the freight company, and they would meet me and help me pick that pallet up, and I would trade them in Hot Wheels,
for toys.
So yeah, and then all the customers I've had over the years that, a lot of them have been with me for a number of years, and I really appreciate that. So, and I thank you guys for giving me this opportunity. I can talk for hours for Hot Wheels.
It's really easy to do.
Yeah. And I was super excited about, the fact you were even asking me. I was like, really? You really want to talk to me? I'm like, okay, so
we will talk to anyone. So
no, I appreciate that. And appreciate everybody, and look forward to many more years of doing this. And then I did talk to you earlier. I'll let you guys figure it out how you want to do it, but I will give away a case of the team transport with this little number in it. So there's 2 of them in the case. So however you guys want to figure that out, and then you just let me know who I'm shipping it to, and I'll get it out to them for free. So
cool.
And then if we want to do something, I'll figure out a case to bring up for your show. And if you guys want to raffle that off, I'll give you that to raffle off at the show. So
okay,
cool, definitely.
We can make that happen.
We got to make this something fun.
That's kind of what I was thinking. We'll have to do some brainstorming with the rest of the admin team, and we'll have to figure out what to do with this idea. So,
the other thing I could make it, and we'll do one that's mailway, but I'm thinking maybe just thinking this slightly at the last moment, we'll do the case to give away at the for you to do the raffle. But maybe if we figure out how to at the show, I could bring something else up at the show, and what I'll do is it'll be A&J logo related. And if you guys come up with one of my answers or something, to make sure they listen to this podcast. So I'll let you guys figure it out, but I'll give you something for someone that shows up to the show that's able to answer the question. So
I like that.
You want to figure that out.
I like that idea. That way we can get some more people watching it, get some more subscribers. And again, if you have not subscribed to A&J Toys on Instagram or follow them on Facebook, please give the man a shout out. Give him some love. He's been a great guest for us tonight. He will be in Elmwood with a lot of goods, and he will be up on the stage. He won't be quite king in the castle status of PJ, but he'll be pretty close.
Yeah.
And don't forget,
I've met Jay. I don't know if I can live up to that. So. Well, you can also thank Donnie up in Iowa because
Yeah.
he's really pressed coming up to
Yeah.
the show. So
Yeah,
So anyway,
that's awesome.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
claim
both
both
of them. We like both of those guys.
Yeah, we'll claim them.
All right. All right,
thanks, guys.
everybody.
I really appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks
Yep.
a lot.
Hey,
Appreciate you coming
just
on.
staying. Hang on for just a second, Ken. Once we get done, don't leave the studio. Everybody, thank you so much for being on tonight. If you'd like to be a guest, just message Brent or myself. We'll get you on. We have some more people coming up in the works. Jeff Drew, Iggy from our club will be on, and a few others that we can't quite mention yet, but it's in the works. Come visit us December 14th in Elmwood. Don't forget the Christmas gifts, the raffles, and more coming from A&J and Mr. Ken. And we will see you all out there in the diecast. Be kind, be nice, and much love. All right, we're out of here.
Happy hunting, everybody.